I'm even getting some readings in the 130s, about 21 degrees. Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm testing out a product called the Phoozy Apollo 2 phone protector. This was on Shark Tank. It supposedly protects your phone from the heat, the cold, being dropped, and also it floats so it protects it from being dropped in the water. I'm gonna put all 4 of those claims to the test in today's video. First up, a quick look back at the unboxing to see how that went. All right, this is the Phoozy Apollo 2. It's currently an Amazon's choice on Amazon. It was also featured on Shark Tank. Does not interfere with cell Wi-Fi or Bluetooth signals. They say it offers cold, heat, and flotation protection. It said tested in space, proven on Earth. Heat, cold, drop, and float. All right, it just kind of looks like a pouch here. Now they say the drop protection can work up to 8 feet, although there's a demonstration video on Amazon that shows a guy dropping from a 2nd floor balcony. It's a Velcro opening here. It's kind of a pretty thick material, so I'll have to check this out and see how it works. All right, so you might wonder why I'm sitting out here outside in the desert in the heat. It's only 114 degrees out here right now, but I'm sitting out here in honor of my first test, and that's the heat test. When this was on Shark Tank, they actually did a demonstration where they had a phone under a heat lamp and a phone in the Phoozy under a heat lamp. And the one in here came out nice and cool. The one under the heat lamp was really hot. I've got plenty of heat out here in Vegas, so let's see how it works in a real world situation. So the heat test was very simple. Just place a phone out in the direct sun for about 30 minutes, repeat the test with a Phoozy, and compare the results, and here's what happened. According to my thermal imager, the phone is 86, 85. Come back in 30 minutes and we'll see how hot it gets. And the current temperature here right now is 95 degrees. All right, it's been exactly 30 minutes. Let's see what we got here. Well, it feels pretty warm. Feels pretty warm. Let's see what the Klein imager shows here. I see a hot spot around 126. It's in the 120s, in the 120s. What was that hot? Wow. It's gonna take a little bit for this to cool off. So I'll bring it inside, try the next test with the Phoozy. Because I've got it on my bed right now and you can see that it's next to a phone. Phone on the right, obviously room temperature. Phone on the left, been sitting outside. Now check this out. If I just move this phone up a little bit, it's still hot on the bed where the phone was. I'm sure the baseline is going to be 85, 86 degrees for this phone. All right, here we go. Same spot. We'll leave it here for exactly 30 minutes. It's warmer outside now, so it might be an unfair test, but if it's that good, unfair shouldn't really matter, right? Current temperature now is 101 degrees. All right, 30 minutes. Let's check it out. I had to go in the shade. It's too bright to even see my thermal imager here. We shall see. It's ouch. It was a lot hotter than I expected it to be. Let's see. I really don't see much of a difference, to be honest. So I'm a little shocked and disappointed that it's not. I thought it was going to be much cooler. It's not. I'm even getting some readings in the 130s. All right, so just to be fair, the test with the Phoozy was a little bit warmer outside when I put it out there, but it was also warmer when I took it out. So at the very best, it performed on par with just leaving the phone out. But do you really need a product for that? I'm not really that sure. We got a long way to go, but that first test was not very impressive. I should also point out that I did not use a phone case for any of my tests because phone cases vary and that would be a variable that I don't really need to include. So we went commando for all of my tests. Now next up is the cold test. Now the cold test was the most problematic of all these tests because I really had a hard time getting results that were meaningful at all. Like for example, one of my early tests, I just stuck a phone in the freezer with a mouth of Phoozy, compared the battery life, and it wasn't really any different. Eventually I realized that if I put it in the freezer with an app running in the background with the screen off, I got very different results, and here's what happened. 95%, 6:28 a.m. 30 minutes later, 52%, 51% at the 31-minute mark after putting it in the freezer. Temperature of the phone is a crisp about 21 degrees. So I'm opening a game for 1 minute. Oh, look at the screen. It's kind of got a delay. Oh, there's actually a layer of ice on the screen. It cannot be good for the phone. After 3 minutes, we are down to 46%. 7:44 a.m., 95%. All right, here we go. 30 minutes later. Ooh, 92%. That's what I'm talking about. The phone is about 20 degrees warmer than it without the sleeve. The 3-minute mark, 91%. Next up is my favorite, it's the drop test. Now there was this kind of viral video a few months ago of a guy who dropped the Phoozy with his phone in it off supposedly a 3rd-story building. Of course he dropped it into grass, so that doesn't really prove anything. And it was a paid promotion. The packaging says it's rated for up to 9 feet, so I want to try 9 feet, at least start there and move on if it survived. So here's how that went. I went to a pawn shop and got a working phone. I'm going to try it with the drop test. The packaging says 9 feet. The website implies it could be 10 feet. I'll go 9 feet and use this basketball hoop as a guide to show you what 9 feet looks like. Let's try it out. All right, here we go, 9 feet. Oh, that sounded rough. I don't know if you can see it in this bright sunlight, but the screen is unbroken and it's still on, so I think it's time to move up to a little bit more challenging test and see how that works. All right, much more than 10 feet here. Let's check it out. And, oh. All right, this isn't onto grass like that one video that showed him throwing off the 2nd-story building. Let's check it out. And, oh, we have an unbroken screen that still works. Perfect. I would say that it passed the drop test with flying colors. I'm actually kind of impressed by this. Now, it was hard to film the screen outside in this bright light, so let me show you a close-up of the phone after all those drops. As you can see, the screen looks fine, it still powers on, no problems whatsoever. I should also point out that the test that I just showed you, I had to do twice because I had some technical issues, so I repeated those tests. So it actually survived 2 9-foot drops and 2 of the higher drops without a scratch on the phone. I was so sure that it was going to fail this test that I went to a pawn shop and just bought that phone, assuming I was going to break it, and it actually survived. So I guess I didn't have to buy a phone after all. The final test is the dunk in the water test. Very easy. Now they don't say that it's waterproof, they just say it's going to float so your phone won't sink to the bottom of the lake or an ocean. Water does get in there, but it'll save your phone from sinking. It was a pretty easy test, and here's how that went. Here's what I'm going to do for the dunk test. I got a piece of paper in here just to see how wet it gets, because the phone is, I believe this one's waterproof, so may not be able to tell. This will tell us how much water gets in there. Seal it up. Let's drop it. There it goes. Well, it does float. It floats. Now I gotta go grab it. Okay, so a little bit of water did get in there. They don't claim that it's waterproof, and it's not, but it does float. Oh yeah, there's definitely water in there. And the phone is wet. The phone is wet. So in the end, I would say the Phoozy passed 3 out of 4 tests, so 75%. You know, in baseball, that's an amazing batting average. In high school, it's like a C average, not so great. I'm not sure where that falls in the phone protector category, but to me, it's pretty good, just not in the heat. But if you've used the Phoozy, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.